Sometimes even the most creative strategies and blockbuster products fail. To be successful, a business needs not only creative strategy content, but skillful execution as well. Strategies will only be executed to the extent that an organization can understand them and is committed to them. People in an organization, from administration to shareholders, have different motivations, experiences, and vocabularies. Successful execution requires effective communication. Powerful visuals facilitate communication and collaboration, paving the way for joint commitment and collective buy-in. The as-is strategy canvas shows the current state of the industry. It's how your current strategy compares to the competition's. It puts your team on the same page, and it can galvanize people throughout the organization, establishing a foundation for charting a new strategic move. Let's look at an example of a 2B strategy canvas for a product released in 2010 by a little company from Cupertino, California. This is what the as-is strategy canvas for the mobile device industry looked like before the iPad. And here's the iPad's 2B value curve. The iPad eliminated these factors, reduced these versus the standard PC and netbook, raised these factors, and created new factors that the industry didn't offer. A strong 2B strategic profile has 3 characteristics. First, it shows focus. Instead of spreading its resources among too many factors, Apple directed them toward a few that provided exceptional utility to buyers. Second, notice how this curve is different than the competition's offering. It extends beyond the rest of the curves because it created new factors that the industry had never seen before. It shows divergence. And third, for a blue ocean strategic profile, you can create a compelling tagline that distills the strategy into words and captures people's imagination in a way that is truthful to the offering. You can use the 2B strategy canvas to engage a business's internal and external stakeholders, from employees within the business to buyers and partners. Visual communication helps everyone understand the landscape and see the way forward. It shows how a new strategic move achieves value innovation and creates exceptional value at a lower cost. A successful strategy is not only creative, innovative, and brilliant, it also aligns value, profit, and people. All of us at some stage have had creative ideas that failed because we could not explain them effectively. The 2B Strategy Canvas is an easy-to-understand visual tool that will help you clearly communicate the most important aspects of your idea. Think of your most creative ideas that never materialized. How could you have shared them on a strategy canvas? How would this have helped to better engage those around you? Powerful visual communication aligns people around a shared goal, inspires further creativity, and facilitates collaboration among your colleagues, family, and friends. Some of the most successful people are the most creative. What if you could be one of them? What if you could be more creative? And not just creative, but creative in a way that counts and makes a difference. Imagine the possibilities if you could be more creative at work and beyond. Many people assume that some individuals, and indeed some businesses, are just naturally creative, as if they were born that way. What if this was not the case? What if creativity could be learned? Creativity starts with realizing that you do not have to accept things the way they are right now. You can change things. People can change too, by thinking differently and doing different things. Often, creativity is just the ability to see things from a new perspective. Blue Ocean Strategy provides you with the tools and frameworks to guide you, and it gives you a process to follow too. It will show you how to see things differently, generate new ideas, and implement them. Blue Ocean strategy is a systematic approach to coming up with creative ideas to stand apart. Throughout this course, you will learn about and explore real-life examples from the world of business. But what you will walk away with are the skills and thinking processes that you can apply in any setting to arrive at creative outcomes that make a difference. This process will also help you collaborate and communicate effectively. You may have never been taught creativity before. It is time to start. Are you ready to create your own blue oceans? How can you create value for buyers? Buyers can derive value from a product or service when the benefit or utility they receive from it is perceived to be greater than the price they pay for it. Many successful businesses offer excellent utility for their buyers. They compete over the same utility factors. As competition intensifies, they either improve these utility factors or they offer them at a cheaper price. But better or cheaper does not necessarily increase buyers' perception of value. What if you could identify these blockages to utility in business and unlock hidden value and create new demand? Let's look at an example of the Buyer Utility Map, which is a framework that examines the full range of utility that an offering might provide. The Buyer Utility Map has two dimensions. The first is sequential, a series of stages called the buyer experience cycle. The first stage is the purchase stage, which includes research, browsing, testing, and transacting. Next is delivery, which can be on the spot, after a period of time, or in installments. Of course, there is the use stage that most businesses tend to focus on. But products may also require supplements that complete the buyer's experience. Over time, experience may include maintenance of the product or service. And finally, with many products, buyers eventually come to a disposal stage. In every stage, an experience can be positive, neutral, or negative. Utility has 6 levers that businesses can use to control the quality of buyer experience. We call these buyer utility levers. The utility levers are the second dimension of the Buyer Utility Map. They are productivity, simplicity, convenience, fun and image, risk, and environmental friendliness. Combine these levers with the experience cycle, and we have a grid of 36 opportunities to create exceptional utility. This is the Buyer Utility Map. Now we are going to explore the negative experiences or pain points that buyers face. Pain points can exist for current customers, but they also exist for buyers who do not currently participate in the market. These pain points are the reasons why customers are dissatisfied and buyers refuse to participate in your industry. Let's look at the bed and breakfast industry. Current customers of the industry who want to switch to a better option have to search many different sources, and their options are limited in terms of uniqueness and location. Non-customers who refuse to stay at bed and breakfasts and prefer hotels are concerned with quality assurance and the risks of doing business with small owners. Finally, there are non-customers who don't realize how charming and authentic a local B&B experience can be. Each of these pain points represents a block to utility and is an opportunity to provide exceptional value. Airbnb is a platform that connects owners to renters in nearly 200 countries. It offers the most extensive variety in accommodation types and locations on a one-stop portal that streamlines research and browsing. It solves the risk issues with secure transactions and customer reviews. And it gives seasoned international travelers authentic local experiences. Airbnb's offering focuses on pain points that matter to customers and non-customers. This is a very different approach from adding bells and whistles that may increase the intricacy of the experience, but does not really solve the buyer's problems, as sometimes occurs in the case of technological products. A comprehensive buyer utility map highlights the difference between an offering that is over-designed versus one that truly creates exceptional utility by solving a real pain point. You can create exceptional utility for buyers by addressing the pain points across the experience cycle of customers and non-customers. Shifting your focus to pain points rather than the features of your product or service will help you identify opportunities that others may have missed. Can you identify emerging patterns among these pain points? Do you see areas where solutions and actions could have maximum impact?
Salesforce.com revolutionized the customer relationship management software industry. Before its launch, SAP, Oracle, and Microsoft dominated the industry and focused on selling the same thing: highly customized software that customers had to purchase outright. The software was installed, configured, and customized on-site for each client and had to be integrated with the client's legacy systems. This could entail significant changes to their work processes and infrastructure. Overall, CRM software was complex, expensive to purchase and maintain, hard to install, and required significant middleware and hardware to run with a high total cost of ownership. What's more, you couldn't try it before you purchased it. Because of that, everyone in the industry focused on selling CRM software to the businesses that could afford it: large, complex corporations. Salesforce.com changed all of that. It created a highly reliable, easy-to-use CRM solution accessible over the web, which worked the moment business users signed up for it with a monthly subscription. Not having to purchase a software license or expand resources on infrastructure, deployment, and maintenance reduced the total cost of ownership by roughly 90%. Salesforce also significantly reduced the risk of deploying its software by allowing subscriptions to be cancelled at any time. What's more, by initially offering only one version of CRM software, Salesforce dramatically lowered its per-unit development costs. It could also learn which features mattered and which ones didn't, based on usage rates, allowing it to focus strategically on what mattered most to users. By removing the pain points of the then-current CRM software industry, demand for Salesforce.com exploded as it unlocked the blue ocean. The result? Salesforce pulled medium-sized and even small businesses into the industry, converting former non-customers into customers as it grew overall demand.
Some of the most successful people are the most creative. What if you could be one of them? What if you could be more creative? And not just creative, but creative in a way that counts and makes a difference. Imagine the possibilities if you could be more creative at work and beyond. Many people assume that some individuals, and indeed some businesses, are just naturally creative, as if they were born that way. What if this was not the case? What if creativity could be learned? Creativity starts with realizing that you do not have to accept things the way they are right now. You can change things. People can change too, by thinking differently and doing different things. Often, creativity is just the ability to see things from a new perspective. Blue Ocean Strategy provides you with the tools and frameworks to guide you, and it gives you a process to follow too. It will show you how to see things differently, generate new ideas, and implement them. Blue Ocean Strategy is a systematic approach to coming up with creative ideas to stand apart. Throughout this course, you will learn about and explore real-life examples from the world of business. But what you will walk away with are the skills and thinking processes that you can apply in any setting to arrive at creative outcomes that make a difference. This process will also help you collaborate and communicate effectively. You may have never been taught creativity before. It is time to start. Are you ready to create your own blue oceans? Businesses often compete for the same customers in an existing market. Their objective is to gain market share. To improve their competitive positions, businesses follow a typical strategic planning process. First, they define boundaries. What is the industry? How big is the market? What are the environmental factors? Next, they analyze the relative strengths and weaknesses of the competition. After outlining the structure of the industry and evaluating all these factors, they formulate their strategy. In other words, structure shapes their strategy. But structure often limits our imagination and our ability to explore the possibilities. What if we could unleash our imagination instead? Some of the most delightful ideas and innovations are not born of conventional logic. They follow a pattern of reconstructing boundaries and creating new market space. These strategies don't focus on existing customers. They create new demand. Their strategy shapes the structure. Reconstructing market boundaries does not require foresight into the future and market projections. The 6 Paths framework helps us systematically reconstruct market boundaries. Each pathway re-examines the familiar from a new perspective. What new insights can we uncover if we just look across conventional market boundaries for new insights? Conventional strategic thinking defines an industry and emphasizes being best in class. The 6 Paths framework helps us look across alternative industries. Instead of battling competitors within a strategic group, the framework looks across strategic groups. Businesses in an industry conventionally focus on the same buyer group, but the 6 Paths framework looks across the chain of buyers. Rather than thinking within the traditional scope of an offering, the framework looks across complementary products and services. Rather than accepting the industry's functional or emotional orientation, the 6 Paths framework challenges it. And instead of focusing on the same point in time, such as current threats and opportunities, the framework looks across time. Path 1 looks across alternative industries. Conventional logic defines industries as separate from one another. These distinctions can help identify the immediate competition, but they're not very useful for determining actual demand. From a buyer's perspective, there are alternatives across industries that help them achieve the same objectives. From a business's perspective, an alternative industry might not seem relevant, but it is relevant for buyers. Consider the factors from alternative industries that draw buyers to the market. How can you create new demand by combining desirable factors from across industries? Path 2 looks across strategic groups in an industry. Strategic groups are businesses within an industry that pursue a similar strategy. Often, we can organize them by price and performance. In the auto industry, luxury car makers offer a high level of performance at a high price. They comprise a strategic group. More economical makers offer a lower level of performance at a lower price, forming another distinct strategic group. Within an industry, there are many strategic groups. Businesses within a group mostly fixate on their peers and try to win their customers. How can you combine the factors that buyers want across strategic groups into a new offering that captures demand from all the multiple groups? Look across the strategic groups in your industry. What factors cause buyers to trade up or down in terms of price and performance? If you identify the factors that influence these decisions, you can begin to rearrange and recombine factors to create new demand. how can you gain insights to create new demand across conventional market boundaries? The first two paths look across the boundaries most commonly used to define the competition. The next four pathways in the 6 Paths framework can be found in Reconstructing Market Boundaries 2. Think about how many industries today did not exist 10 to 20 years ago. The answer is many. Having witnessed the rapid evolution and creation of industries over the past decades, few of us would doubt that in the next 10 to 20 years, many new industries that are unheard of today are bound to appear. Most businesses focus on beating the competition in existing industries. Some win. Some fall behind. Other businesses create new markets and recreate others. They jumpstart new industries that make the competition irrelevant. There are generally 2 ways to compete in existing industries. Some businesses differentiate their offerings, providing higher value to customers at a premium price. Others compete by providing acceptable quality at the cheapest price. Both approaches focus on winning the greatest share of existing customers in the existing market space. Blue Ocean strategy, in contrast, focuses on non-customers, the population outside an industry's current customers. It creates new demand. When Henry Ford introduced the Model T over 100 years ago, the U.S. auto industry was composed of more than 500 car makers building custom-built cars. Custom-built cars were made mostly for the wealthy. Model T targeted a whole different group of buyers, the great masses who used horse-drawn carriages as their means of transportation. The Model T was mass-produced and priced for this vast population of people who had previously seen cars as toys for the wealthy, and it transformed the urban environment and reshaped society. When Starbucks introduced its stores, it created new demand by combining freshly brewed good coffee with a pleasant environment for both work and leisure. This created an experience that drew in both customers of traditional coffee shops and people who prefer drinking coffee in the comfort of their own homes. We call competitive strategies red ocean strategies because existing industries are increasingly red with bloody competition. On the other hand, Blue Ocean strategy creates a new market space by making the competition irrelevant. Competition isn't necessarily bad. As companies compete, they push the benchmark for excellence higher and higher. But to go beyond the limit of existing industry best practice, they will need to start creating new demand. Let's look at the differences between the red and blue ocean approaches. Red ocean strategies are about competing within an existing market space and beating the competition. Blue ocean strategy creates new market space, making the competition irrelevant. Red ocean strategies exploit existing demand and target the current market. Blue ocean strategy creates new demand. Red ocean strategies are formed under the assumption that delivering high value for buyers comes at a high cost, or that lower cost is only possible with a lower value product. Blue ocean strategy challenges this assumption. Higher value can be delivered at a lower cost. While red ocean strategies align systems of business activities in pursuit of either differentiation or low cost, Blue ocean strategy aligns activities in pursuit of both. In choosing which strategic approach is appropriate, you should think about the attractiveness of the business environment, your business's capabilities, resources, and your strategic orientation for competing or for innovating. The choice to pursue a blue ocean is the choice to challenge the status quo. It is the choice to positively shape industry conditions in your favor. Under blue ocean strategy, even unattractive industries can be made attractive with your conscious actions. This requires creativity, a shift in perspective. Blue Ocean Strategy is a systematic approach to formulating and executing game-changing ideas.
Cirque du Soleil is a Canadian entertainment company that produces theatrical performances combining elements of the theater and circus. 30 years ago, before the appearance of Cirque du Soleil, the circus industry was not a particularly attractive one. Alternative forms of entertainment were on the rise. Children were more likely to be interested in the latest video game than a trip to the circus. Audiences were dwindling, and so in turn were revenue and profits. There was also growing concern among animal rights groups and the general population about the use of animals in circuses. This put some people off. In short, the industry was struggling and facing fierce competition from other forms of entertainment. Before the appearance of Cirque du Soleil, the leading circus, Ringling Bros and Barnum and Bailey, set the standards within the industry as the market leader. They invested heavily in nearly all the key factors of competition that buyers traditionally expect of a circus: animal shows, star performance, multiple show arenas, and aisle concessions. Smaller regional circuses followed the standard set by Ringling Bros and Barnum and Bailey, offering the same key factors but at a lower level and lower price, fewer animals or performance that weren't big stars. The offering they produced was essentially the same, a circus show based on fun and humor targeted at children. The smaller regional circuses were trying to emulate the offering produced by the market leaders, but with fewer resources. As you set sail towards creating blue oceans of new market space, what can keep you anchored in red oceans? It's the red ocean traps, assumptions and theories ingrained in your mind about how the business world works. Trap 1. Seeing market-creating strategies as customer-oriented approaches. The mindset that customer is king or queen leads you to focus on making the customers happier. But non-customers, not customers, hold the key to creating new markets. They provide the greatest insights into the pain points that limit the size of your industry. Trap 2. Treating market-creating strategies as niche strategies. Creating new markets is not about uncovering a niche in an existing market, as segmentation only divides up the existing market into smaller and smaller slices. It's desegmentation that creates new markets by focusing on commonalities rather than differences. Trap 3. Confusing market-creating strategies with technology innovation. You remember the Segway human transporter, right? That two-wheeled power scooter that was going to revolutionize transit when it was unveiled in 2001. It failed. Why? Because it didn't link technology to value. While technology innovation can win you accolades, it's in fact value innovation that launches commercially compelling new markets by tying technology innovation to value. Trap 4. Equating market-creating strategies with creative destruction. The theory of creative destruction conditions you to assume that the new always destroys and replaces the old. But new markets can also involve non-disruptive creation, like Viagra and microfinance. Non-disruptive creation happens when new solutions are created where none previously existed. Trap 5 and 6. Equating market-creating strategies with differentiation and low-cost strategies. To position yourself well on the productivity frontier, you are conditioned to accept value-cost trade-offs. Differentiation comes with high prices for customers and high cost for your company. With a low-cost strategy, you compromise on value. But to create new markets, you should pursue differentiation and low cost. It's about breaking the value-cost trade-off. Otherwise, you risk becoming just another premium or low-cost player in an existing market. Will you avoid the traps, or will you get stuck in red oceans? To create a new market, do you focus on customers or non-customers? Do you segment or desegment your market? Do you link new technology to a leap in value for buyers, or just get thrilled with it being cutting edge? Do you find better solutions to existing problems, Or look for new problems that have never been solved before? Do you think about lowering costs when creating a differentiated offering and focus on differentiating value when creating a low-cost offering? Be sure to check your mental models as you go for creating blue oceans of new market space.
Do you know where your business is currently positioned relative to your competitors? Knowing this is a critical starting point. The As-Is Strategy Canvas shows the current state of the industry. It outlines how businesses are competing and investing to stay in the game. It's powerful because it's visual and easy to understand. It helps team members get on the same page and prepare for new strategic moves. Here is an example of a strategy canvas for the hotel industry. The horizontal axis shows the key factors of competition, starting with price. The vertical axis shows the relative offering level among the competition. A higher level means industry players offer more. These are value curves. They show how an offering performs relatively across an industry's key factors of competition. In this canvas, each curve represents a strategic group and not a specific company. That's because the strategic profiles or value curves of most businesses within a strategic group tend to converge. In other words, from buyers' perspective, they tend to be different in the same way. The strategy canvas may also be used to chart an individual business's strategic profile as part of the process of visual communication. We will now look closer at the key factors of competition. Businesses invest resources in many ways to create value for customers. These are the factors that businesses compete on to attract and keep their customers. We call them factors of competition. They can provide benefits to customers, but they also might be things that customers don't even notice. Let's look at an example of an as-is strategy canvas for the hotel industry that focuses on luxury and budget hotels. The luxury curve includes top-tier or 5-star hotels. For most of the factors, the offering level is high. We call this a differentiation strategy because competitors try to stand out or differentiate by offering more and more benefit for customers at a higher price. The budget curve represents a low-cost strategy. Budget hotels offer fewer services and lower quality at a much lower price. A differentiation strategy targets customers who want premium experiences and are less price-sensitive. A low-cost strategy attracts a larger number of customers who are more price-sensitive. Within each strategic group, there is usually a market leader that sets the standard for its competitors to benchmark against. In both cases, the market leader usually has more resources and capabilities and can defend their market share. This tends to entrap competitors in a game in which they must follow the market leader, offer the same factors, and play by its rules. The As-Is Strategy Canvas shows your business's strategic profile and relative position in the strategic landscape. By identifying the factors of competition, you can see how businesses are competing and investing relative to one another. Think about which strategic group you fit into, if any. Are you trapped benchmarking against a market leader? Does your value curve converge with your competitors? If yes, it's time for you to break away from the pack and create your blue ocean. The As-Is Strategy Canvas is a starting point for changing the status quo and crafting a blue ocean strategy. It not only allows you to see the strategic landscape in one simple picture, it creates a great impetus for change. Throughout this course, you've explored the concepts of blue ocean strategy. You have acquired the skills and the thought process to generate creative insights that you can apply in any setting. You don't have to just wait and hope for creative inspiration to strike. You now have the skills to develop insights by thinking about things differently. This is how creative ideas form, people change, and new businesses or industries get created. Often it is about a shift in perspective. Then you begin to see new possibilities. Now you have a step-by-step approach to exploring those possibilities and creating new opportunities. You have a process that you can follow. Each module has taken you through a stage of that process with a set of tools and frameworks. Are you ready to apply Blue Ocean Strategy's systematic approach to coming up with creative ideas that count and make a difference? Are you ready to create your own blue oceans? Most businesses compete within the existing market space, pursuing either differentiation or low cost. They fight over existing demand by either delivering higher value at a higher cost or lower value at a lower cost, but they cannot achieve both. Value innovation, in contrast, is the simultaneous pursuit of both differentiation and low cost. It breaks the value-cost trade-off and unlocks new demand from existing customers and draws in non-customers from outside of market boundaries. Innovation, more often than not, brings to mind new inventions, methods, and new technologies. However, value innovation places equal emphasis on value and innovation. In other words, it is not necessarily technological innovation, but innovation that is directly tied to buyer value. Value innovation does not only increase value for buyers, it also lowers costs for businesses at the same time and increases their profits. Value innovation delivers exceptional value, which attracts a mass of buyers. And as economies of scale kick in and costs go down further, profit increases even more for the business. Blue Ocean Strategy uses a systematic approach to creating value and reducing costs simultaneously, using the 4 actions framework. Let us begin by considering the key factors of competition on the as-is strategy canvas. In light of the insights gained from the 6 paths framework and the non-customers analysis, think about which key factors are the industry taking for granted. Are they extraneous? Do they actually add value for buyers? Can these factors be eliminated? Next, industry standards are usually established by the market leader and reinforced by the competition. Think about which factors have been over-designed in the competitive race. Which of these can be reduced well below the industry standard? Think about which of these factors that are highly valued by buyers should be raised well above the industry standard. Finally, using the insights gained from the 6 paths, think about what new factors that the industry never thought of can be created. We will now look at the Eliminate, Reduce, Raise, Create, or ERC grid, which is a supplementary analytical tool to the 4 actions framework that helps businesses gain visual clarity on which factors industries compete on and invest in should be eliminated, reduced, raised, and created. The eliminate and reduce actions lower the cost structure of businesses, while the raise and create actions add more value for buyers. Overall, the combined actions increases value and reduces cost, enabling the simultaneous pursuit of both differentiation and low cost. That's value innovation. Value innovation is the cornerstone of Blue Ocean Strategy. It simultaneously pursues differentiation and low cost. The 4 actions framework helps you to rethink your strategy by eliminating, reducing, and raising key factors that the industry has long invested in. It also helps you to create new key factors that never existed in the industry before. Think about how you can achieve high value and low cost in order to unlock new demand from existing customers and draw in non-customers from outside of market boundaries.
If you love watching movies or documentaries, you almost certainly know Netflix. Netflix began as an online subscription-based DVD rental service in the US. For a monthly subscription fee, subscribers could rent as many DVDs as they wanted and keep them for as long as they liked. There were no due dates and no late fees, and the DVDs were delivered straight to your home. Netflix sales and growth took off as it broke away from the competition. But the world did not stand still. The internet was taking off, broadband was becoming the norm, and free sources of entertainment online were on track to grow without any sign of slowing down. Seeing this trend, Netflix set out to unlock a blue ocean. While its DVD subscription business was growing strong, customers still had to order the DVDs in advance and mail them back. And if they forgot to order a film to watch, they were out of luck. Netflix saw that a streaming service would eliminate these problems. So the company made the decision to start the streaming service that we know today. For a low monthly fee, customers can watch as much as they want any time of the day or night without any commercials from virtually any internet device. The fast streaming service offered a wide selection of movies, documentaries, and TV shows, clean, simple navigation, and a low monthly price. Before long, Netflix opened a wide blue ocean, achieving soaring growth and global expansion.
It is no surprise that businesses spend tremendous resources satisfying customers. They are their key source of revenue. As competition intensifies, businesses continually try to acquire new customers while fighting to keep existing ones. They try to differentiate their offering from the competition's at a premium price, or they offer comparable products and services for less. They can also design an offering precisely targeted at a subset of customers called a market niche. These strategies can create market leaders within industries and specialty players in small niches, but they are confined to the existing customers within an existing market. Meanwhile, new industries spring up all the time. Some of these were created within the boundaries of existing industries. Others created all new industries beyond the existing industries and customers. But both created new demand by engaging non-customers. Non-customers are potential buyers other than your and your competitors' existing customers. These customers are either dissatisfied with the industry's offerings, or they were never considered as part of the market in the first place. They are the untapped market. Let us look at an example of the gaming industry and how the Nintendo Wii drew non-customers into the market. The first tier of non-customers are soon-to-be non-customers. They are in the market but would happily leave the industry if a superior alternative came along. In the case of gaming, this includes young adults and students who find themselves frustrated with games that are too difficult to play. Presented with alternative entertainment, they will jump ship. Mentally, they are non-customers. The Wii caught their interest by adding 3D motion detection, which was engaging and intuitive for inexperienced gamers to learn. The second tier of non-customers are refusing non-customers. These customers do not choose among existing products or services within an industry. They refuse the industry as a whole. In the case of the gaming industry, this was not people that favored Xbox or PlayStation. They simply preferred more active entertainment. We drew refusing non-customers into the market by offering games that got them up and moving. The third tier of non-customers are the unexplored non-customers. They are overlooked by the industry. They have also not considered the industry and might not even know it exists. In the case of the gaming industry, this tier included the elderly and very young children. We expanded its offering beyond traditional gaming genres by creating a new activity for everyone. The whole family could now enjoy playing the Wii together. Traditional market segmentation strategies focus on differences between existing customers. Blue Ocean strategy looks at the commonalities that unite buyers. The 3 tiers of non-customers framework can be useful for identifying commonalities to unlock the demand of potential buyers. Commonalities may be found across customers and non-customers in a given tier, or even across multiple tiers. Ideas that address commonalities shared by the biggest pool of buyers will unlock the greatest demand. All businesses need customers to generate revenue. But focusing on customers within the existing market is a zero-sum game. Non-customers are the untapped market. Instead of focusing on differences, the 3 tiers of non-customers framework will help you explore new demand by focusing on commonalities. Who are your non-customers? Why do they reject your offering or ideas? Why have you or others failed to engage them? Have you explored your buyer experience?
Cirque du Soleil is not like a traditional circus. It was not designed to be. It has retained some aspects of a traditional circus, clowns, acrobats, and the iconic circus tent, for example. But unlike a traditional circus, Cirque du Soleil offers a show with an overall storyline, artistic music, and dancing. On top of this, it offers levels of comfort and refinement normally associated with a trip to the theater. In short, it's a whole new kind of entertainment experience. When Cirque du Soleil entered the stage, it chose not to compete with the rest of the circus industry in trying to win a share of the existing market. Instead, it attracted demand from buyers who hadn't previously shown interest in going to the circus. Cirque du Soleil eliminated some of the more traditional elements of the circus, such as the animal acts, aisle concessions, star performers, and using multiple rings. They also reduced the slapstick clown routines as part of making the whole show more sophisticated. They created a show with a storyline and theme rather than just a series of different acts. They added beautiful music and choreographed dance routines. The shows were staged in unique venues, raising the levels of comfort and grandeur well above what people had come to expect when visiting the circus. The venues for Cirque du Soleil's shows reflected the refinement of the experience of going to the theater, and yet for the most, they still were housed in circus tents. Today, Cirque du Soleil is one of the most famous and longest-running live spectacles in the world. Novo Nordisk is a Danish insulin producer that created the first user-friendly insulin delivery solution. It was designed to remove the hassle and embarrassment of administering insulin for people with diabetes. Prior to the NovoPen, people had to use needles and syringes to administer insulin. Historically, the healthcare industry targeted doctors because they most influenced the purchasing decision of people with diabetes. As a result, the industry's efforts went into producing pure insulin as requested by doctors. Novo Nordisk, however, saw that it could break away from the competition by shifting its focus from doctors to end users, the patients. The NovoPen resembled a fountain pen and contained an insulin cartridge that carried roughly a week's worth of insulin. It also had an integrated click mechanism that made injecting the insulin much easier than using a syringe. With the convenient NovoPen, patients no longer faced the complex and unpleasant task of handling syringes, needles, and insulin. Groupe SEB is a French multinational founded in 1857. It produces small appliances and is the world's largest maker of cookware. Its electric French fry makers, long popular in Europe, were struggling to stand apart in a market that was shrinking 10% a year in value. Recognizing the need to break out of this intense competition, the company's electric cooking unit set out to turn things around. But the professional manager of Groupe SEB were somewhat skeptical. After all, what could you do with a French fry maker when price was the only thing that seemed to drive sales? The electric cooking unit reasoned differently. What if everyone in the industry was operating under the same set of assumptions, but those assumptions limited the industry's attractiveness and demand? What would happen if those assumptions were rethought? As the team set out to identify and challenge the industry's most basic assumptions, they had a revelation. They discovered there were two facts that everyone accepted without question. The first was that making fresh French fries required frying. The second was that frying required a lot of oil. These unexamined assumptions drove the industry to overlook a host of problems. Fryers used up to 2.5 liters of oil, which was expensive. Hot oil makes fryers dangerous. When the fries are done, it's hard to dispose of the oil, making the cleanup difficult. And all that oil makes fries both unhealthy and incredibly fattening. Challenging this accepted wisdom led the team to redefine the problem from the one the industry focused on. Instead of looking at how to make a best-in-class fryer, the team focused on how to make mouth-watering, healthy fresh fries with no frying. The result was ActiFry, a whole new type of French fry maker that takes frying out of the equation. It uses only 1 tablespoon of oil to make 2 pounds of fries, with roughly 40% fewer calories and 80% lower fat than the same size serving of traditional fries. What's more, the appliance is easy to clean and has no safety or oil disposal issues. The fries are great too. ActiFry was launched in 2006 to immediate and great success. It was the world's first air fryer. The winning combination of healthy, lower-calorie fries inspired Oprah Winfrey to tweet about how much she loves her ActiFry, causing the company's share price to rise by 5%. To this day, ActiFry remains one of Groupe SEB's greatest successes, with sales worth €1 billion worldwide. With ActiFry's launch, the industry also grew by nearly 40% in value, attracting brand new customers who had never bought an electric fry maker before. Maybe you face an intensely competitive industry with no room to stand apart. But does that mean there is no room to break away from the competition and create new market space? The answer is no. Consider SoulCycle, a company that reinvented fitness and indoor cycling. SoulCycle is a 45-minute full-body workout led by inspirational instructors with upbeat music. It takes place in an intimate setting that shifts from candlelight during the warm-up to pulsing fluorescent lights as the music and riding takes off before returning to candlelight for the cooldown. You can think of SoulCycle as equal parts full-body workout, dance party, and live motivation session. How did they do it? They created an offering that flipped the orientation of the fitness industry from functional to emotional. In doing so, SoulCycle opened up a new market space so compelling that even in an overcrowded industry, it's almost a cult with customers. Fitness is a multi-billion-dollar industry in the US. There are luxury high-end gyms, mid-tier sports clubs, and low-end gyms in every town and city. Almost all of them have resistance machines and free weights, and offer various types of class like stretching and cardio. And there are also specialty studios offering yoga and Pilates classes. The overriding focus of the industry was on physical health. You arrive, work out, sweat a lot, get stronger, and go home. We won't promise you it is fun, but it is worthwhile. Not surprisingly, most people who sign up to gyms stop going soon after. This explains why most gyms lock you into year-long contracts. The founders of SoulCycle changed that. Their aim was to create an experience that people actually look forward to because it was fun, joyful, and as exciting as going to the latest cool club that people lined up to get in. The studios were designed to be amazingly chic. The instructors were hired not just for their athletic ability, but for the joy, music, motivation, and bike dancing moves they bring to the classes. Add to that some cool lighting, effects, plus reminders on the walls that you are a renegade, rockstar, legend, and warrior, and you get an inspiring atmosphere that makes customers not want to quit. Beyond that, the 45-minute classes are efficient, and there is no annual mandatory membership. You pay as you go. Almost like a Starbucks coffee, taking a SoulCycle class feels like a small luxury you get to treat yourself to. In Module 6, you learned about the hotel chain Citizen M. Its founders, Michael Levy and Ratan Chadha, looked across strategic groups in the hotel industry to understand why mobile citizens would choose a 5-star hotel over a 3-star hotel and vice versa. As a result, they gained a wealth of surprising insights. To turn these insights into clear action and a concrete strategy, the team challenged itself to translate these insights into specific factors they could eliminate, reduce, raise, and create. For example, customers of both 5-star and 3-star hotels didn't see the front desk, concierge service, bellhops, or doorman as key to their purchase decision. The front desk does not bring value to customers. It exists for the benefit of hotels to register and process people and payments. Similarly, for frequent travelers who almost always travel light, bellhops were also seen as unnecessary and even a nuisance. As for the concierge, frequent travelers were for the most part tech-savvy and preferred finding directions and locating restaurants and sites themselves. So Citizen M eliminated these factors. As mobile citizens rarely stay in their rooms, the team realized it could reduce room size. Since customers traded up to 5-star hotels for a luxurious sleeping environment, Citizen M raised the quality of the sleeping environment by furnishing rooms with extra-large king beds, fine linens, good sound insulation, big fluffy towels, and amazing showers. And as customers trade down to 3-star hotels for a more reasonable price, the team judged it key to set a price accessible to 3-star customers. As team members continued to work through and interpret these market insights, they also recognized new kinds of value they could create. The completed ERG shows the full results of what Citizen M eliminated, reduced, raised, and created as a result of looking across strategic groups. By acting on the above factors, Citizen M created a clear and concrete set of actions that formed the basis of its Blue Ocean strategic move. The result was a hotel chain that was both differentiated and low cost. When it comes to the US credit card industry, Visa, MasterCard, and American Express compete head-to-head. Common industry wisdom held that the US credit card market was saturated, with scant room for profitable growth, especially given the tighter regulations on interest rates and fees that followed the 2008 financial crisis. But was it saturated? Not according to Square, which saw an ocean of non-customers when it was founded in 2009. Most Americans have a credit card, and almost all medium-sized and large merchants accept them. But Americans couldn't use their credit cards to make a person-to-person payments to the gardener, the piano teacher, or the babysitter. These people were the non-customers of the credit card industry, as were many new businesses and micro-businesses, like farmers market vendors, food trucks, and pop-up shops. Of America's 27 million small businesses, roughly 55% didn't accept credit or debit cards. Yet research shows that more than 55% of customers wish they did. Square found that when it came to micro-enterprises and small businesses, the cost of installing point-of-sale technology and processing transactions, plus other often hidden costs, made them reject the industry. As for people who wanted to make transactions person-to-person, credit card companies never even dreamed of converting them into customers. But Square found that they would love the option to make person-to-person payments using a simple, easy-to-use device that could be attached to their mobile phone. The result was the Square Reader, a small plastic device that allows individuals and small businesses to accept credit or debit card payments simply by attaching it to their phones. By looking across these two tiers of non-customers and focusing on their commonalities, Square unlocked a huge blue ocean.